I'll tell you a name that strikes even greater fear into your hearts. A bad man everywhere. Lightning Larry. I'll never forget the day Larry rode into our little town of Brimstone and walked into the Cottonmouth Saloon. He strode up to the bar and smiled straight at the bartender.
Lemonade, please.
Every head in the place turned to look. Now standing next to Larry at the bar was Crooked Kurt. Kurt was one of the band wrestlers and thieves that had been terrorizing our town, led by a furious outlaw man, Evil Eye McLean. Larry turned to him and smiled.
Mighty big frown you got there, mister. What's it to you? Well, maybe I could help remove it. I'd like to see you try.
The rest of us got out the way real fast. Larry and Kurt moved about 10 paces from each other, hands on the ready. Larry was still smiling. Kurt moved fast, but he only just cleared his gun from its holster before Larry aimed it and fired.
Zing!
There was no bang and no bullet, just a little bolt of light that hit Kurt right in his heart. Kurt just stood there, his eyes wide in surprise. He dropped his gun and a huge grin spread over his face. He rushed up to Larry and pumped his hand.
I'm mighty glad to know you, stranger. Drinks are on me. Lemonade for everyone.
Yay!
When Evil Eye McLean and his outlaw gang heard that Crooked Kurt had gone straight, they shuddered right down to their boots. Most any outlaw would rather die and then smile. Evil Eye's men were shook up, but they weren't about to let on. The very next day, Dismal Dan, Devilish Dick, and Dreadful Dave rode into Brimstone. Windows shattered and windows shattered and citizens scattered.
Pew, pew, pew. Ah! They're gonna hurt us!
Oh. Then Lightning Larry showed up. He never warned them, never even stopped smiling. Just shot 3 little bolts of light,
Pew, pew,
hit those
pew.
outlaws right in the heart.
Oh!
They lay there trying to figure out what had hit them. Then they got up and looked around.
Looks like we did some damage, boys, said Dismal Dan. Hope nobody got hurt, said Devilish Dick. We'd better get to work and fix this place up, said Dreadful Dave.
They spent the rest of the day replacing windows and apologizing to everyone who'd listened. Then for good measure, they picked up all the trash in the streets. Evil Eye McLean had lost 3 more of the meanest men, and he was furious. He decided to do something really nasty. Stupid sound effect. The next day, Stinky Steve and Sickening Sid walked into 79th National Savings and Loan with guns in hand. They wore masks, but everyone knew who they were for the smell.
Stick up your hand, said Stinky Steve. Give us all the money in your vault, said Sickening Sid.
They were just backing out the door with the money bags when Lightning Larry strode by. Didn't even slow his step. Just shot those bandits in the back. Went right through his heart.
Oh! Seems a shame to steal the money of those hard-working cowboys, said Stinky Steve. Wouldn't want to make their lives any harder, said Sickening Sid.
They holstered their guns, walked back to the teller, and plunked down the money bags.
Now you keep that money safe, said Sickening Sid. Then they pulled out their wallets and opened up accounts.
That was the last straw for McAnevil. It was the time for the showdown. The next day at the high noon, Larry was sipping lemonade at the Cottonmouth Saloon. Evil Eye burst through the doors and stamped up to him. I'm Evil Eye McNevil.
Hello, Evil Eye. Can I buy you a lemonade?
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Oh, I don't know. Seems pretty spacious to me.
I'll be waiting for you down by the Okie Dokie Corral. Larry finished his lemonade and walked onto the main street. Evil Eye was waiting for him, but Evil Eye wasn't alone. They're on either side of him were Raunchy Ralph and Grimy Greg and Creepy Cal and Moldy Mike and Lousy Luke and Gruesome Gus, and not a one of them looked friendly.
Let's stay for a stroll.
Draw. All of the citizens of Brimstone were lining Main Street to see what had happened. Larry was still smiling, but we knew even Larry couldn't outshoot all the outlaws together.
Just then, a voice came from the Cottonmouth Saloon. Like some help, Larry? Wouldn't mind it, Larry called back.
Out stepped Crooked Kurt, and right behind him were Dismal Dan, Devilish Dick, and Dreadful Dave, Stinky Steve, and Sickening Sid. They all took places behind Larry.
Hello, Evil Eye, called Kurt.
Traitors! Yelled Evil Eye.
Draw, said Larry, with a smile.
Evil Eye and his men drew their guns, but Larry and his friends were an evil blink quicker. The guns fired seven little bolts of light, hit those outlaws right in the you know what. Yippee! Yelled Evil Eye. He shot in the air.
Zing!
There was no bang and no bullet, just a little bolt of light.
All right, men, shouted Larry. Let's clean up this town once and for all. And before we could duck for cover, Larry and Evil Eye and the others turned their guns on the rest of us. Bolts of light flew everywhere. No one was spared, not a man, woman, or child. You never...
My baby! My child! My son! No! Mercy!
You never saw such a happy crowd. We all rushed around and pumped each other's hands and hugged each other. Then the musicians got out instruments and we started dancing too. Main Street was just one huge party. All the rest of the day and on through the night. I never saw so much lemonade drunk in all my days. With all the commotion, only a few of us saw Larry ride into the sunset. Can't say where he went. Can't say what he's doing now. But I'll bet he still aims for the heart. Zing!